Hi there, and welcome to ALP 2022. While I am so sad that I am not there with you in person this year, I am very excited that I have the opportunity to still share with you my presentation today, which is part of the marketing track. It is called Shake What Your Mama Gave Ya, otherwise known as How to Repurpose the Content You Already Have. So let's get started. You're probably wondering who the heck I am. I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you and tell you a little bit more about what we're going to cover today and why I am the one to do it. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Again, I'm really excited about this information. I think you're going to find it really valuable. Who the heck am I? My name is Laura McDowell. If we have not already met, I am the Director of Marketing for Think Reservations, which is a software for property management. I'm also the founder of Laura McDowell Creative, which is a company where I provide small business one-to-one coaching as well as illustration and pattern design. So, what are we going to cover today? Today's agenda, we're going to start with the value of showing up, okay? Why is it so darn important to market? Minding the gap. This is where I'm going to talk with you about how you can figure out what you're missing right now when it comes to your content so that you can simplify filling in the gaps. Um, Next, we're going to talk about repurposing on purpose. I'm going to show you how you can simplify the process of taking what you already have and reusing it in different ways for different purposes. Mining for new ideas. I know sometimes you can feel like there's just a big black hole void of information in your head because of all the millions of other things that you have to go to be thinking about on a regular basis. But I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on ways to never run out of new ideas. And then finally, I want you to remember as I talk about all of the different things today that people buy from people and you are a person. So you already have that going for you. Super important to keep in mind. So here we go. All right. So a little bit more about me. That's me. And yes, that is a t-shirt on my head. I practice what I preach. Okay. So as I said, I have my own business, Laura McDowell Creative, but as the marketing director for Think Reservations, I handle marketing as a brand, right? I do this as Think Reservations. But so that's by day. So with my own business, I'm able to show up more as myself, right? And who am I? I am a suburban mom. I am a wife. I am a crazy cat lady. I have hashtag curly hair problems. And I love all things Procreate, which is an awesome iPad app for drawing and illustration. Let me know if you have questions about that. Whole other story. I have a Long Island accent that's mixed in with about 11 years living in Southern Maine. And I use the occasional F bomb to cheer on my people. Okay. I also own the Target tank top that you see in that image in about 10 different colors. And in fact, I'm wearing another color today. So these are the types of things that my audience relates to. But I wasn't always like this. I was not always comfortable showing up like that. When I started my business, I was actually terrified of showing my face and having my picture up on video or on my feed. I felt this pressure to create this sort of like perfectly curated social media feed, to send these beautiful templated emails, and to get brand photos taken. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that. The problem was that none of that was me. This is more me, okay? And this is an actual photo that is on my Instagram feed today. It was a hair wash day, and if you are a curly haired person, you may understand why I might use a t-shirt instead of a regular towel. But that is a presentation for another time. You can go to my Instagram, lauramcdowell.creative, and see that image there, and leave me a comment if you'd like later on. Basically, though, what I realized was that people connect with other people, not Canva graphics, not overly styled photos. Thankfully, I never got that far personally. Um, these things can be really helpful for you to integrate into your marketing and building your brand, but they should not be your marketing. You're probably here because you've already lost some of your marbles when it comes to stressing out about marketing. And I'm here to help you gather them all back up and keep the ones that you still have because it doesn't have to be that complicated. All right. So, the value of showing up, you might be asking, when can you stop? You know marketing is something that you need to keep doing. You know the general idea of why it's so important. and you go to bed every night thinking, maybe when I wake up tomorrow, I won't have to market my business anymore. I can kind of like remove that entire part of owning a business from my life. Let's find out when you can stop marketing. Oh, sad trombone, you can't unless you sell or retire. If you want to grow your business, you need to be sharing it with the world. And when I say you, I don't necessarily mean you, the person sitting here listening to this, but you in general have to keep marketing your business. You need to be getting your name out there so that new people, new guests can come in and give you more revenue. And this is why preventing burnout is so important because you just can't stop, right? My goal is to help you make marketing feel easier, maybe fun, rather than having it feel like just this other boring to do list item that you have, and show you how you can weave it in a little more seamlessly into your everyday life. I want you to be this person here. I'm going to pretend this person's probably on like a really nice tropical beach somewhere with their cocktail with the umbrella in it. I mean, anytime someone has an umbrella in their cocktail, you know they're not stressed out about marketing. So let's get you there. Okay. You might say to yourself, remind me again why marketing is so important. So I want to give you some more specifics. There are so many reasons why marketing is valuable to your business. Um, there are 525,600 reasons, actually. Um, I'm just kidding. If you're familiar with the musical Rent, that number might sound familiar to you. It's from that song from the Rent musical. Um, I don't know why I had that song in my head when I was creating the slides for this presentation, but I did. So for your benefit, I've pared it down to four that I'm going to talk with you about today. And if you look at these four, awareness, reputation, relationships, communication, you'll notice that they might seem kind of familiar. They're actually really the stages of your buyer journey, right? The journey that your people take when they first find you, and then eventually they become your guest. So first, we need to start by making people aware of our property, right? Like if they don't know about us, they aren't going to be staying with us. Unfortunately, for most of us, this isn't an if you build it, they will come type of situation. Next is reputation. Where are you showing up? Who are you showing up alongside? What are other people saying about you? Who's recommending you? People want to associate with like minded people, and they want to associate with people that the people they already like tell them to. Okay. It's like high school. If you have a good reputation, the people that those people know are going to want to also be associated with you. So, reputation, really important. Relationships. Once you are able to make that initial connection, that initial awareness connection piece, you want to take it to that next level of building a real, genuine relationship with somebody beyond that surface level where you're just going, hey, I have an inn. Why don't you give me money and come stay with me? Like that's not where you want to get. You want to create those guests for life. Okay. Communication, being able to meet your people where they are is so important. And this is guests and potential guests. So, whether it's sharing transactional emails related to their purchase or their reservation, or you're just keeping them up to date with your email newsletter on things that are going on around, your property, your staff, your town, whatever it might be. All of that communication adds up to help solidify these four important pieces of why marketing is so important. So, I want to share with you three super simple tips to get you out there so that you're not losing your mind. I want you to take note of these three bullets, okay? Because I'm not going to be going into the nitty gritty today on how to automate or how to outsource. We're going to be talking mostly about repurposing. But I want you to keep these in mind because if you ever get to the point where you are truly feeling overwhelmed by all the things that you need to take care of, I want you to be able to remind yourself that these other options exist. We cannot do it all. We should not try to do it all. There are experts out there that are available to help you with your marketing. And tools out there to help you with, automation. And if you find the right fit and you use them wisely, they will show you a return on investment. So the amount of money that you're spending on these things should become minimal once you start gaining benefits from them. That gives you the ability to focus on what you love most with your business. And this is like kind of one of the things we even joke about here at Think Reservations, right? Like We know that our customers didn't get into, innkeeping or becoming a hotelier or running a bed and breakfast so that they could sit at a desk and use a computer every day. That's not why you got into this. So how can we simplify and make it easier for you? And you should have the permission to do that. So, bonus tip, again, be yourself. People connect with people. One of the benefits of having your own business is that you get to be yourself, right? Like I said, I'm getting to do that with my own business with Think Reservations. I'm the brand. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you have the ability to go above and beyond that and show who you really are on a regular basis. Be yourself. It's nothing easier. All right, so moving into the next section, we're going to talk about minding the gap. When I say mind the gap, I say it in a demand tone, not in a, oh, mind the gap, maybe, because it's important, but it will get easier. And the work that you put in early on is going to set the foundation to make this something that you just kind of have now in your overall plan of marketing for your business. So, what exactly does this mean? We're talking about minding your content gap, okay? The gap in all of your content. What are you missing? The gaps. How do we figure out where the gaps are? We do an audit, content audit. And I know that the word audit is never fun, but we're going to focus on our end goal, right? We're going to think about what we want on the other side of this to get us through this part. Really, when I say content audit, I mean we're simply going to be reviewing your existing content to see what you have and how well it's working for you. How is it performing? In this case, I'm going to recommend using a spreadsheet to track your content so that it's easier for you to do again in the future. You might find another method works for you, but I'm going to share a Google Sheet with you so that you have it and you can use it and edit it however you want to if you find it helpful. For the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to be simplifying. I'm going to be talking about your blog and website, your emails, social media posts, and really just other content sources that you might have. So think about what these might be for you. It could be things like YouTube and videos, LinkedIn articles, Pinterest pins, media coverage, third-party content that you've written, etc. So kind of think through all the different places that you have content that you've created. Super simple. We're going to keep it to the top 10 performing pieces of content in each of the categories. I'm going to show you the spreadsheet in a bit too, so you'll know what I'm talking about. But we're looking for our top 10. Now, depending on how long you've been doing this, you may have tons of content to look through, or you may have very little. You might not even have 10 in each category. That's okay. But what we're looking for is patterns in what people have kind of informally raised their hand to say, oh yeah, I like that. I'm paying attention to it. I'm commenting, I'm engaging, etc. Letting you know that essentially they'd like to see more of it. So what does top 10 even mean? Now, this is not a one size fits all answer, unfortunately, as really most of this is not. And I also want to take one moment to also mention that the things that I talk about in the presentation today may or may not be a good fit for your business. And I like to say this with all of our presentations that we do, especially, at Think Reservations, because while our audience is fairly niche, there's also a lot of variety within it. And so you need to be able to understand how you can take different tips and information and suggestions and figure out if they're the right fit for your business. I'm all about experimenting and trying new things as long as you have a plan in place for tracking your success and coming back to see and measuring your success. And then you can always tweak things. So you're not just setting things and forgetting them and then you find out something worked terribly. So keep that in mind. Set goals, track them, measure them, tweak. So based on what your goals are, this might vary, but I'm going to try to simplify things here. Here are some examples of metrics that you can use to determine how well your content is performing. These are there are in-depth ways that you can get into this. You can really dig in, especially when it comes to your website and using Google Analytics and all that kind of stuff. But really what we're looking for is kind of a nice picture, like I said, some patterns of what our audience likes and where we want to spend more time and where we can repurpose and or create new content. We are not trying to become content marketing masters in this session. So where can you find this information? Again, I'm not diving deep into this, but There are analytics available for you in a variety of ways depending on what you're using. First of all, with your website, you should have Google Analytics installed on your website. If you don't, check with your website person, whoever handles that for you, or your marketing company, and make sure that's there, and try to get an idea of some of the basic information that you want to track. It can be very overwhelming when you get in there, but you can simplify it and figure out what you really need to be spending your time on. So, um, Google Analytics for website and blog posts. And then when it comes to social media, obviously, depending on what social media you're using, you're gonna, be able to utilize the analytics of that particular platform to see how well things are working for you. And then same with email. If you have an email marketing platform, same thing. You'll be able to go in and see how your emails have been performing. The big thing to understand with all of this stuff is really, did you have a call to action or a CTA? Call to action really means you're asking your audience to do something, whether it's to click a link, make a reservation, read an article, vote in a poll, whatever that thing is. If you had a call to action, how well did it work for you? How many people engaged with it? Here is an image of my spreadsheet. It's kind of hard, I think, to see in this size, but maybe the view is okay for you. But basically, it's simple. It's just a spreadsheet with different columns that track specific information about each piece in the column. I've got here, you got your title, your topic, your source, your metrics, and your target audience. Okay, those are the things that you want to keep in mind with each of the pieces of content that you have. This is where you're going to list your category right here. And then and I think actually my mouse is not showing up. I'm using my cursor to point out things, and I don't think they're showing up on your view, so I apologize. But you'll see where it says category 1, you're going to put whatever that category is, and you're going to go ahead and list your top 10 pieces underneath it. Really what we're looking for in this content audit is a picture of our own business and how we can set benchmarks to improve. Really, we're just working against ourselves here to improve our own content. This isn't about competing against your competition, other businesses. This is really focused on you and understanding your audience and what they want and how you're doing in that respect. Okay, because we want to reuse, repurpose, and create more of whatever it is that people are telling us they want. So, really quick refresher. Where do you have to be? You want to make sure that you are carrying out your authentic, down to earth self throughout your marketing. You want to think about these key areas when you put together your ultimate, marketing plan and calendar content. I don't want you to add to the pressure of, this overall marketing plan by saying you have to be everywhere and do all the things. But honestly, the list I have here, you really kind of need to be there. You need to have these things, I think, at a base for your business. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be sending a million emails every week, or that you need to be posting on social media daily or multiple times a day, or that you need to use all 4,000 social media platforms that are out there. But what I want you to decide is what you're going to use, figure out where your audience is, and be smart about how you make it happen. Okay. So, content, blog, website, booking engine, check. Emails, check. Social media accounts and bios, check. And then maybe some other areas that you choose to market. So, now we're going to talk about repurposing on purpose. So, quick lecture before I move forward. You do not have to be constantly coming up with brand new, never before done, shocking content for your property. As I said, people relate to people. They want to find bits and pieces about you and your team and your business that they can connect with. And that is really the most important thing. So you may have heard this kind of outdated statistic at this point that says people need to see a marketing message 7 times before it sticks. Really, today it's closer to 20 because we have so many different things distracting us on a regular basis. We have access to so much information. So use that to your advantage, kind of keep that in mind. And remember that most people are not going to see every instance of everything that you share, unless you have like a super fan, or if your mom follows you. Shout out to moms for being such amazing supporters. But neither of them are going to mind, if they see your walk to the farmer's market in 3 different places in a single day. I promise you. But generally speaking, most people aren't going to notice if you share the same stuff over and over and over again. In fact, they might find it comforting because it's familiar. It's something they recognize. So don't worry about that. Don't overthink it. All right. So one more time for the people in the back, your key messaging is your content, blog, website, booking engine, emails, social media, accounts and bios, and any other marketing you choose to do. So this is where I'm going to show you my trick to take one piece of content and turn it into 10 different pieces of content. This is just one example of how you can do this. So we're going to start with writing a blog post. You have a blog, right? Raise your hand. Everybody should have a blog. Blogs are really awesome for our type of businesses. It gives us the opportunity to really connect with people and share great information about our area, things to do, etc. So you have a blog. Your blog is going to be an amazing resource for your content marketing because generally speaking, your blog posts are going to be your longest form pieces of content, and they're going to give you the ability to easily break them up into multiple pieces so that you have content for lots of different platforms from one bigger piece. So it gives you kind of like a lot of bang for your buck essentially. So example I want to share with you, 72 hours in X, whatever your town is, your city, whatever it might be. I had done a presentation similar to this for the Michigan Bed and Breakfast Association last year. So I used Ludington as my example when I did this for them. So 72 hours in Ludington, right? Blog post about 72 hours. Now, keep in mind, these are more robust articles. They might take you a little bit of research, a little bit of time to write initially, but it will pay off in a variety of ways. So you're going to write out a schedule of things to do in your area, starting with when you get to town on Friday. What is that going to look like, right? Like I'm a guest, I show up on Friday afternoon. What are you going to suggest that I do? I'm going to leave town Monday morning. What am I doing all that time in between? So what do I do? Where should I go eat? What kind of stuff should I see? Are there things that I should be driving past or walking by? Is there stuff nearby that's maybe a little bit outside of town that's worth seeing? Is there stuff that locals know about that is less touristy so I can kind of feel like a local? People love that. Think things from, food, relaxation, entertainment, outdoors, local specialty tours, things like that. This is also a really great chance for you to get outside of your property and network with other local businesses, build those relationships up, refer them, they'll refer you in turn. It's like a great mutual benefit type of situation. And it gives you the ability to link to them in your website, on your website in the article, which helps you build your SEO and shows Google that you're the real deal and other businesses that are local. Once you build those relationships and you get this blog post live, don't forget to send it to them so that they can share it with all their audience, how excited they are that they were featured in your article. So we've written our blog post. What are we going to do next? We're going to turn our blog post into a social media story. Instagram story, for example, right? So get your face out there. I want you to use video of your face speaking about your article. Share that you have it. Share why you wrote it, why you were so excited to write about it, why you chose certain places. Use the interactive elements in Instagram to poll your audience, ask them questions, engage them. If someone replies to your story, reply back. Don't be salesy and like send them your booking engine link, but respond like a human being and explain to them, why, just reply as a human being. I'm not going to tell you how to reply, reply as a human being. Quick note, stories expire in 24 hours. So don't be afraid to share more than once. Not everybody's going to see every time you share a story. Same thing to keep in mind is that if you create a story and you're just like, oh my gosh, how did I do that? Like I look like an idiot or that was silly or whatever it might be, it'll be gone in 24 hours. So don't overthink it. Don't waste your time overthinking stories. I mentioned replying to people. I mentioned the engagement factor and encouraging people to respond. If you are new to doing this, if you're new to sharing stories, if you're new to using those interactive features like polls and questions, and people aren't engaging, don't give up, okay? It takes a little bit of time for your audience to get used to the fact that you are asking them to engage with you in this way. They're not just going to start immediately answering your polls, but you need to give it some time. Don't give up too soon and just say, oh, nobody's watching, nobody's responding. They have to get used to it. Act like this is, normal for you and you're asking them to respond, and eventually people will start engaging with you in that way. So stick to it. All right, blog post, Instagram, moving to Facebook post. So now we're talking like more of a static social media post. So this is a great way for you to reuse your blog post images, create social media feed images, it posts, have your image, link to your full article, share a summary, or share a hot tip that's in there, or share one specific thing. Tag any businesses that you feature in your specific post. You can probably turn this article into like 10 different posts over the course of the next few months. So don't, feel the need to just post about it one time and let it go. Think about how you can break it down and have it be bite-sized posts that really take you through a quarter, honestly. And again, make sure you're tagging people and asking them to share with their audiences as well. All right, so now that we've done that, we want to turn it into a reel or a TikTok post. Um, these are both video options, right? Reels are part of Instagram, and then TikTok's its own standalone platform, if you're not familiar with it. So both are videos, both are very similar in terms of how they look and feel. If you're comfortable with one platform or the other, you can actually repurpose either. So if you create a reel, you can actually share it to TikTok and vice versa, which helps simplify things a little bit. But go where your audience is. If your audience isn't on TikTok, don't drive yourself crazy. Trying to figure out that platform. I have heard it's really user friendly. I've only started using it a little bit, but I've heard it's very user friendly. So if it is something that you're interested in checking out, go for it. In either case, they're both super trendy right now, and especially with Instagram, because Instagram has a variety of different ways you can create content, right? TikTok is just TikTok videos, but on Instagram, you've got a bunch of different options. Reels is still their newest thing. So they want people using that, and people that use that format are going to get more visibility. They want to be showing their audience reels. So if you're creating them, you have a better chance of having your content shown to your audience than if you're just still putting out static images. I know that it's more work, but think about where your audience is and what they're interested in. So we can turn our 72 hours into a whole bunch of videos as well. Email. So don't forget about email. I know I've mentioned email marketing a few times, and email marketing, this could be, more generic emails that go out, but they can also be those emails where they're kind of like your little newsletter, right? Where you're telling people about the things going on, again, about you, your team, your property, your area. Sharing this type of email is great, especially as a call to action to book another reservation with you if they stayed with you before, or to finally take that plunge if they haven't. Um, when you create a new blog post, always share it out with your audience, your email list audience, because those are the people that have raised their hand and said, hey, I want you to come into my inbox and share information with me. So this is a great opportunity. And what I recommend is, share a summary, share some things that, could get them interested in wanting to know more about what the full article has, and then go ahead and link them to the website so they can go to the full article. What's really nice about that is it also gives your website a little bit of a boost shortly after the article goes live. Google will notice people clicking to that link, and that will send the signal that that's an article that people are interested in. So it's a good way to kind of get a little boost right when you first share it. Again, same thing, you can break this up, right? I'm not saying that you should share it every week over and over and over again, but you could break it up into a few mini highlights over the course of a few different weeks. And you can also reshare this out again, like later in the year, reshare parts of it and drive them to the full article again. Other thing is, if you do work with other local businesses to put together this initial blog post, ask them if you can add them to your email list and share with them the email when you have the blog post go live. This will give them the ability to then share it with their audience, invite others to check out your business and things like that. Never add someone to your marketing list without getting their explicit permission, but ask and see if they'd be into it. Next, Pinterest. So if you are on Pinterest, this is a really great type of post to share there. These do really, really well because they cater to the average Pinterest user. Pinterest users are there to gather information, get ideas, make purchases, plan to spend money, basically. And so this is a great type of article that caters to a lot of that. Travel searching is really big on Pinterest. And these people have money to spend. So take those beautiful photos from your article, turn them into pins, get them linked to your website article, to your booking engine, create a downloadable PDF guide to your area or something like that. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do that you can have linked to pins and have them up on Pinterest. But take advantage of the fact that Pinterest is a visual search engine, a visual platform, and you probably have a lot of beautiful photos from this type of article. So don't let them go to waste if you're already on Pinterest. Work these into your Pinterest plan. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, I think, can be a really good addition to marketing if you have an audience. If your audience is there, I know it can feel a little formal for people in our industry. And again, don't take on anything that feels like too much for you. But if you're comfortable with it and you're looking for a new way to get your information out there, I think that the beauty of LinkedIn right now is that it's still not saturated. And there's a lot of room still for great long form content, which is like this type of article. So, what I recommend when it comes to sharing your blog articles on LinkedIn is similar to what I said in other cases. Share like half of your article, share like a part one, and then link to drive people to your website to get the rest of the information. The goal is to get them off of LinkedIn and onto your website so they can learn more and engage with your business kind of like in your home, right? Your website is sort of like your home versus LinkedIn, which is, like a coffee shop that you're meeting at. All right, and your booking engine. So we benefit from having this extra source of real estate where we have our own brand that our people go to. So your online booking engine is a great place to add a brand new stay local special that has a bunch of different things that you've pulled from this article that you wrote, right? So maybe you featured some restaurants or some local places to visit, like a museum or a historical society, or there are some tours, etc. Can you put together a bundle and create a brand new stay like a local package for your area? If you can go ahead and link from that blog post right to your booking engine, right to that special. Um, Keep in mind that your booking engine should provide the same type of human to human, people buy from people experience as your website, your blog post. You want people to get into your booking engine and feel that same experience carry through so that they're just getting more and more prepared and excited for what it's going to be like to interact with you and your team when they actually get there. So keep that in mind. Shared audiences. So honestly, having your blog article shared out to other people's audiences is one of the best things that you can have happen, because they're sharing out to people that already trust them, that already look to them as a reputable source, someone that they believe in and want to hear from. So when that person then comes to them and says, "Hey, check out this property, this bed and breakfast, this inn, whatever it might be," their audience is already like ready to go, ready to listen, excited about it. So don't discount local businesses being able to help you grow. Just because they're local doesn't mean they might have people that they can refer to stay with you. Again, sharing your article out, giving them some images, make it super easy for them to share the article, give them the images, give them a blurb that they can just copy and paste and tell their fans about. Local news stories. So pitch to local news stories, whether they're print or digital. Get creative. These companies are often looking for like feel good local stories that they can share to mix in with all the other stuff that they have to share. So why shouldn't it be you and your business? Go ahead and let people know about this awesome guide that you've put together, and you might find yourself out there sharing it to their much larger audience, which would be awesome. All right. Are you all out of new ideas? I'm going to say never. You're never going to run out of ideas. I got you. I'm going to talk to you about some new ways you can think about how you can connect with your audience. So here we go. How can you keep this up, right? Like, gosh, Laura, you've told me all the reasons why I have to do that. This, you've given me all the places that I have to share stuff, how I can repurpose things I've already got, but eventually I'm going to need to create new content. So how do we do that? Again, people buy from people. And you have other resources at your disposal. Okay, so not just you. You might have a partner, you might have a team, you might have a spouse, you might have kids that can pop in and help you with this part of your business. All right. This message is designed to help you, whether you're afraid of showing up as yourself, because we know we have those people, or you're one of those people who wants to hop on and just talk about yourself or your business all the time. And there's more that you can be sharing with your audience, right? More opportunities to connect. So, four different options I've got here. A day in the life. A day in the life is awesome for anyone at your property to do occasionally. I did this once for my business and it was amazing. The interaction that I was able to have was through the roof, and it really gave me a chance to share more of my personal life and who I am outside of my business with people. The conversations that I had over the course of that day ranged from the radio station that I listened to after I dropped my kid off at camp, to the hair wrap that I sleep in every night, again, curly hair, to our banana hammock, our literal banana hammock that we hang our bananas from in our kitchen. It just happened to appear in a video that I did, and I got questions, so we talked. I even had someone ask me where I bought my coffee mug, which I love this mug. It's a hand warmer mug. I had someone ask me where I got it, and I told her. And then, like a week later, she sent me a message with her own version. She bought one herself, and we are actually now friends. We are legit internet friends, because of that interaction. It's awesome. So whenever her and I see each other in other meetings, we both have our mugs. So you never know what's going to, help you build relationships and connect with people. A day in a life, it can be a lot of work, not going to lie. That's why I think it's a great way for you to sprinkle other people into it. If you have that ability, if you have other people, like do one once a month or every few weeks or something like that. And you literally have, from the moment you wake up until you go to bed, shared bits and pieces throughout the day. People freaking love it. Okay, next, platform takeovers. So, platform takeovers are a great way for you to swap with another business owner, whether it's another property or another business in your area. You can take turns posting on their platforms, on each other's platforms for a full day. Like let your audience know this is going to be happening, share about how cool this business is, and then turn it over to them and let them do it. There's tons of great resources on how to do a platform takeover smartly. So make sure you do a little bit of research before you get into it, but can be a really great way to open your audience up to other people. And again, get yourself in front of their audience. Behind the scenes. So I think behind the scenes are so fun for our industry because people love it, right? Like what we do, what you all do is like this romanticized profession. Like Hallmark movies are made out of, the story of the bed and breakfast owner, the innkeeper, the boutique hotelier, whatever it might be. And so people are fascinated and they want to know what it's like to really do this job. And so show it off, whether that is you weeding your garden, walking your dog, doing the grocery shopping for 16 people. These are the things that people find really fun to watch. And they will get a kick out of, you with your humongous shopping cart, like just loading in like gallons of milk or like cartons of eggs into your grocery cart. Like this is the type of stuff people want to see, I promise. And then finally, fun facts. And fun facts, again, this could be something that maybe you do once a week. You share like a fun fact about you, your staff, your property, your area. Are you catching on to like those four kind of content buckets I keep mentioning? Share fun facts, create little, quizzes or little polls for people to answer if you're doing it in social media or doing it on email. Give people the ability to interact with you and answer questions and, just give them something fun to look forward to. And then tell them what to expect. I think this is really important. Figuring out what you're going to deliver, telling your audience what they can expect from you, which are the things you want to deliver, and then finally making it happen, being consistent and sticking to what you agreed to. So let them know if they sign up for your email list. How often are you going to email them? What are your emails going to be about? If someone replies, let them know that you are going to personally respond to them. If you hop onto Instagram stories daily, remind people that they can catch you there, and that you're going to reply to messages personally. Quick side note, when people send you messages, make sure that you respond to them in a timely manner and in a human manner. Again, people buy from people. I find, it really annoying when I come across somebody on like Instagram, for example, who's just like, oh, I just saw that I have like 65 messages, DMs, and I'm gonna try to get to all of them, this weekend. So if you've DM'd me and I haven't responded, like I'm gonna get to you. That's annoying. Okay. If I took the time to send you a message and engage with you, like you should have the time to respond. And I think that to me, that's just really important. So even if you have to outsource that to another member of your team, but like appreciate when people take the time to engage with you and show them that you really care. That's how you continue to build those real relationships with people and create long time guests that love you and want to come back and are super easy and happy and fun. Um, Social media channels, pop into those X times a week, get consistent with it. Same with blog posts. These platforms, Google and social media platforms, start to recognize how often you are contributing, and they start to kind of get into that rhythm and expect it, and your audience starts to expect it. So be consistent with when and how you show up. Do you have themes for certain things? Keep those in mind. Let people know so that they know to look for you, and then use it or lose it. Frankly, I don't think emails and blog posts are things that you can do optionally. I think those are must haves at this point in time. Social media, I do think you need to have some social media platforms, but you do not need to be on all the platforms. Again, like if TikTok freaks you out, don't do it. If you have a Twitter account, but nobody that you want to stay with you is on Twitter, like abandon it, let it go. Pick the things that you're comfortable with, that you're going to be able to stick to, but also that your audience is using, so that you're not speaking to a void. And don't be the business that we had a few years back here, where we had gone to their website and they had all their social media links, in the header. Click on the Facebook page, and their most recent post was like their Christmas tree from 2015. That's not a good look. So you're better off not having the account than having an account with this super outdated information. It looks like they're not even in business anymore, which it's not true. So use it or lose it when it comes to social media. And then again, once you start doing this, I promise you it will become part of your routine, just like everything else that you do. It will become less overwhelming because you'll feel more comfortable with it, and you're going to start finding that there's things that you want to share. Like you'll be doing something and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to share this with my audience. I want to, put this in my next email. I want to write a blog post about this. Use your phone to your advantage. Use the notes feature of your phone, for example, or carry a notepad, like whatever works for you. But I like to keep things in the notes app on my phone. If I think of something, I just type it out in there. And then this way I kind of have a bank of content topic ideas that if I'm really feeling stuck or there's nothing specific going on that I want to share about, I have some ideas. And then just put it on your calendar, schedule getting this content together. It takes 21 days to form a habit, so they say. So I have a challenge for you. And my challenge is actually 30 days. I'm giving you a bonus week because I know how busy you are. But if you can do it in 21 days, by all means. So over the next 30 days, I want you to commit to these three things. Conducting an audit, you're going to use the spreadsheet that I have, or use your own method for going through all of the content that you have and figuring out what your top performing pieces of content are and putting them in some format that you can track them. You're going to then repurpose at least one piece of content from each of those categories. And then you're going to create one new piece of content to fill any gaps that you have, anywhere that you see you're not covering a certain topic or area or reaching a specific audience segment. That's all I'm asking you to do over the next 30 days. If you can do those things and you can set reminders for yourself, break it down into smaller pieces. You're not doing all of these things in one day. Find an accountability buddy. Maybe there's somebody else at ALP that you can work with. You guys can share your your goals. You can share your content, ask each other for feedback and tips and stuff like that. Maybe even you find a buddy to do a platform swap with at some point, platform takeover. And then set a reward for yourself. Treat yourself at the end. If you do this, go ahead and, pat yourself on the back and, whatever it is, make sure that you reward yourself for doing this work, because it is not easy, right? And it's not necessary. When we think about all the other things that we have to do, this type of stuff can keep getting pushed to the side because there's nobody holding us accountable for it. However, accountability is one of my favorite things. So if you decide you want to do this and you need someone to cheer you on, let me know. I will cheer you on. I will celebrate you when you win, when you finish this, as it'll be a win. And finally, I want to thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time out of your day to hang out with me and talk about this very exciting topic of repurposing your content. So if you want to get in touch with us at Think Reservations, if you're a customer, we have a great support team available to assist you. If you're interested in learning more about Think Reservations, we have an awesome sales team that's here to help you. You'll see here this image. This is my team, give or take. This picture is now a few years old because COVID, but I could not do my job without them. We truly are a team, and they are incredible. So we are all here to support you with whatever you need related to your property. And then again, Lauren McDowell Creative is my other business, and I can be reached on my website. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm there a lot. And then, shoot me an email if you have any questions on that side of things. So again, thank you so much. Good luck with your content repurposing. Let me know if you decide to do the challenge, and I will hopefully see you all in person again really soon.